JM on the track, JM on the track. An ADP production. Married with Queen and Chris. Welcome to Married and Shit. Married and Shit. One spot for the spicy, one spot for the sweet. It's Married and Shit. 11 years in and you know that the marriage on fleek. Married and Shit. Like, subscribe, be sure to tap in like every other week. It's Married and Shit. Welcome to the family. Married and Shit. Married and
Hey everybody. You're gonna say hey? I thought you was about to say hey.
I was just looking at you.
Oh, okay. Welcome back to Married and Shit. For those of you just joining, I'm Quinora.
And I'm Chris.
And for those of y'all returning, welcome back.
Before we get started, we'd like you to do us a favor, like and subscribe to the podcast from whatever platform you're listening to, whether it's YouTube, Apple, Spotify,
Google Stitcher.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
I need to remember that. I mean, I listen to all my podcasts on Apple Podcasts, so it's like, you know, it's just, that's the first one that pops up in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, wherever you listen, just make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe so that you get the notifications every time we drop new content.
Yeah. So today's episode is, I don't want to say it's a taboo topic, but it's something that...
Oh, it's definitely in the black community.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, maybe not now. Maybe not in the modern, but when we grew up, and of course there are exceptions to the rules, but I mean, my parents didn't. We're talking about finances.
Yeah, so you can get your mind out you gutter.
Yeah. There are some other ones in there. Sex. Let's talk about sex, baby.
Oh, we already did that one.
Yeah, we did that one. We'll definitely do more about it though.
Yes.
But we're talking about finances today, and you know, as far as I can remember, I never remember my parents sitting down with me and saying, "Hey, this is what credit is. This is how much income we have. These are the bills, and this is how you have to handle this, and this is what you have to think about." I didn't have that talk. Mm-hmm. I was just a naive child that just assumed that, you know, everything we wanted to go to the store, swipe the little plastic card, and we get things. That's how it was. What about you?
No, same. My parents didn't talk to us about,
and we're not villainizing our parents for this. Yeah, no. So don't come at me, mama.
Yeah. No, our parents didn't talk to us about money, credit, or anything like that. I mean, even as far as up to, you know, college. When you're in college and you're just signing these papers for loans, I'm just like, you gonna pay for my school? This gonna pay for school and I don't gotta pay nothing? And just, you know, signing your name away at stuff. You know, I got Parent Plus loans, didn't really understand, you know, what that was all about and how it would affect my parents down the line. You know, and now looking back at some of the things that I know my parents have gone through, it really could have been a really good teaching opportunity. But I think because the black community has this whole, and I don't want to call it a stigma because I completely understand where it comes from, but they always want to put a child in a child's place.
Yes, and for the most part, children do belong in a child's place. And I don't think that was about, you know, keeping kids out of grown folks' business, although that's what was said a lot. I think it came down to, hey, let children enjoy being children, because once you grow up, look, that's it.
Well, that, and also because, you know, to the world, a 12-year-old black boy is not seen as a 12-year-old black boy. He is seen, you know, like, at what point does he then become a threat? You know, so to the world,
when he's born.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah, some people.
Yeah, so to the world, you know, our black kids have to grow up. They don't have to grow up. They are seen as growing up faster than what they truly are. And so I think that may have been part of the reason why initially it started that children need to be in a child's place. But then I think it kind of took a turn for, you know, be in a child's place. You can't have no opinion. You can't have no feelings. You can't have this. You can't have that because you're a child. You know, and I think our generation is really trying to reverse that and saying just because a child doesn't mean they can't have feelings. Just because they're a child doesn't mean they can't learn about, you know, adult things. Because at the end of the day, you know, Lord's will, they get to be an adult. They are going to need to know about certain things, and all learning does not take place in a school setting, nor should it take place in a school setting. And I think finances and money management is one of those things that you can definitely teach at home, and you can tailor it to, you know, different levels for a child.
Yeah, and you know, and it's what's been unique about being here in Missouri, being in some of the schools that I've visited, it actually is, financial management is actually a graduation requirement for some of the school systems.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
But you know, it's a lot of
it's
a lot of white people up here. So you know, it's and you know, that doesn't go to say it's not in black schools. We're not currently in an area where there are a lot of black people. So, and you know, as far as school curriculum, our focus right now is on the curriculum that our kids are going through, and our oldest, Anaya, is going into 7th grade. So, you know, and I honestly, it would be nice if around this time they start the intro to finance, and it's something that they build upon up until, you know, they graduate. But you know, hey, look, it's no excuse where the schools fall short. That's where we got to pick up. Yeah, you know, or maybe it should be the other way around.
I mean, it really should be the other way around,
because we should be the primary educators of our kids, and our teachers are supplementary.
I think in something like this, it should be. However, I know that not a lot of parents have the same financial knowledge that we have. You know, I think, and it's a growth thing. You know, some of the things that we learned in our 20s, you know, are things that we should have been doing in our 20s versus actually learning about them in our 20s.
By the time we were learning a lot of the stuff that we know now, you know, debt was already there. And it's just like, you know, hey,
like, I'm here.
I'm here. You're learning all this stuff, but what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do? You know,
oh shoot, I got what? How long has that been there?
I don't know. Okay. They can probably tell you.
For those that are just listening, I either have a hole in my mouth, but I got water on my shirt.
But your mouth is a hole, so it's true.
We're gonna move on.
Just because you can't drink without spilling anything on yourself, don't get mad at me. So we wanted to talk about finances again. It's one of the. It's one of those topics that we have it down as it's one of those. When you look at a lot of we talk a lot about divorce rate and stuff like that. When you look at a lot of divorces, at the center of a lot of those problems, and even with people that we know that have gotten married and divorced, you know, the most common problem, you know, within that, you know, outside of things like infidelity and stuff, are finances. Yeah. And, you know, it comes down to, you know, this person is financially irresponsible, or this person, you know, is not sharing, or you know, whatever the case may be. And
I think what finance is, it's one of those things. I truly don't think there's a right or a wrong way to handle your finances. Like, I know there are some people, you know, that go the
Dutch route.
The Dutch route, yeah. That's not what I was thinking, but yeah, you know, you have the Dutch route. There are some people that feel like the man as the provider should do 100%. There's some people that feel like they should
gender roles.
100% debt free, and that, there's just so many different avenues that you can take within finances.
100 ways to skin a cat.
Yeah, and it's just finding what way works for you and your partner. Because even within my small circle of friends, there are some of my friends that are in marriages where they keep their finances completely apart. Mm-hmm. You are responsible for bills A, B, and C. I'll handle D, E, F. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there is no real sharing of finances because it can be a very sore topic.
I remember the short time I was at in Kentucky at Knox. There was a couple that was going through the course at the same time. They had both applied, they had both volunteered and stuff like that. And we go to Louisville and hang out and stuff like that. And literally we hear them having this conversation, and it seemed like business. I was like, man, y'all are married and y'all talk to each other like that? It's like y'all talk to each other like business associates. But when it was time to go out and have fun, it was like, oh, hey, last time we went out, I had it. This time it's on you. Yeah. And then blah, blah, blah. And, we just hear them because we take turns. We always carpooled and stuff like that. And it would just be, a short little 2 to 3 minute where they box themselves away from the conversation that everybody else is having in the car. And I always keyed in on it. And I was like, man, to me, it felt weird that they handled it that way, because that's not
how we handle
That's not how we handle it. And I remember asking them about it. I was like, man, it's not weird to y'all? And they're like, no. It's like, we have 2 separate bank accounts. His direct deposit goes into his account. Mine goes into my account. That's not how we were. I think that's how we started off.
That was how we started off. Until you went to the Army.
Yeah. How we started off, it was, we were just dating, of course, down in Albany. You had your job. In a lot of cases, we worked together for a while too.
Yeah. But we still had separate accounts, separate, everything was pretty much separate.
Well, we weren't even really living together. We only lived together for a year while we were there.
We lived together
for a year. The first year I was there, I lived in the dorms. We were both in the dorms.
And then after that, we moved in together.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
Oh, you mean? Oh, you're after the dorms.
Yeah. You forgot about the
dorms, and then you were in your apartment, and then after that apartment, we moved in together.
So we were living together for about a year there.
Yes.
So exactly what I said. You skipped a whole year of time down there. Now she might have been a little confused because although we had separate apartments, we lived together. We were either sleeping at her place or we were sleeping at my place. One or the other.
But still, everything was separate. And even after we got married, we kept our separate accounts. While we were working at TP together.
Because I don't think I had I didn't have a card to your account. Mm-hmm. You didn't have one to my account. It was just understood that, like how it was.
These are your bills. These are my bills.
Yeah. And if we fall short, then the other one gotta chip in, and that's just how we made things happen. How did you feel about that system?
I was fine with it. I think, honestly, we probably could have kept it going that way. But then when
I had to go in. I had to just go up and walk into the recruiting station.
Yeah. When you went into the military and I had access to your account and I saw...
you're making it seem like I didn't give you access to the account.
You gave me access to your account. And I saw...
that wasn't even in question. It was going to happen anyway.
Okay, yes. But
it seemed like I was trying to hide.
No. Yes, you were never one... We never wanted to hide, the finances. I don't want to put that out there. You were never one to hide. But I don't think I truly understood... Which I don't want to say it wasn't my place. Because in my mind, as long as the bills were being paid, I could care less what you was doing with the rest of your money. Because... the bills were being paid. Mm-hmm. But then when I saw, I was like, dude.
What in particular were you talking about?
All those overdraft fees.
Oh, look. Like I said, all right, I didn't learn about... So while I was in college, look, because I carried the same bank account from before I joined the Army into when I joined the Army, and then shortly after, you know, we decided to change things up because, you know, that we found out that bank was trash. But so the way I like, look, if I had a job where I'm getting paid, let's say for now I'm getting paid on the 1st and 15th. All right, let me take this mentality and go back to my college days. Yo, if it's the 14th, if it's the 13th of the month, and I'm like, yo, I only got $50 in my account, but
you want something that costs.
I want something that costs like $60. If I know my bank will allow me to hit credit
and overdraft that bitch,
my nigga, I'm swiping the card because I know 2 days later I got a direct deposit hitting and I'll be straight. It's like, yo, I got some sandwich bread, I got some stuff. I'll make sandwiches for the next 2 days, but yo, I want this game, or I want, you know,
whatever it was,
whatever it is. It's like, yo, I'm getting paid when I can survive till then. Credit, you know. And I think I was banking with Bank of America then.
Yes.
Bank of America would let your ass. They'll let you. I think even after you overdraft, they'll let you keep on swiping and getting credit. Yes. And they would charge you for every single. They would let those mass, you know, transactions go through, and your small transaction for a Big Mac meal at McDonald's, you know, instead of it costing you, you know, $8 and some change, it ended up costing you $40-something because they slapped that $35 overdraft fee onto there. And that's what they would do. They would let your big transactions go through so you can go ahead and use up all of your available funds. Mm-hmm. And then the little mini transactions, you know, were more than double because and they weren't even going by dates. They couldn't even.
Well, that was the issue, is that they weren't going by dates.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They weren't even going by dates, so that they would say, hey, it's almost like there's somebody there saying, hey, if I take these 3 transactions, they can use all their money, and now these 8, mm-hmm. you know, we can apply an overdraft fee to. And people were just, I mean, they were just hemorrhaging money from people. I don't know if it's different now, but you know, with that being said,
that wasn't even the case though. You were still just overdrafting to be overdrafted.
No, yeah, because I mean, I was in college and I was like, look, in college, all I was worried about was being good right now. Yeah. Making it to the next pay period, making sure I can pay the rent, have my fun, get my little drink on. You know, that's all that mattered. You know, it's not an excuse, but you know,
I mean, it's just what it was.
It is what it is, and I did it a lot more than she did it. So once
I didn't have Bank of America, so I couldn't do it.
Well, was you just SunTrust, I think?
Yeah, I had SunTrust. I couldn't overdraft.
Well, so but regardless, what I'm getting to is, you know, when I joined the Army and stuff like that, you know, one thing I wanted to make sure, because, you know, we had heard, and my recruiter said the same thing. You know, he's like, hey, you know, don't leave your family high and dry. So make sure that whatever account your money's going to, you know, make sure you still, you know, taking care of your grown man stuff. Make sure you still paying the bills. So without thinking, I was like, oh yeah, you know, here's the account information, and that first letter in basic training, you know, was like, nigga, what the fuck? And she's just going back and what about this month alone you had about 20 overdraft fees and this and that and this and that, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Why are you going back and being all, look, the account's good now, I don't owe anybody any money now.
Listen,
you need to be focused on now. And she's just all yep.
I was
in the letter,
that letter.
And you know, basic training was like a deer in headlights moment. So I'm already getting all the barking and all this crazy stuff coming from drill sergeants, and now that first letter, look, it's nothing like receiving that first letter in basic training, because when you get there, you damn near feel abandoned, even though it's a choice that I made. You know, it's just like, man, I can't go home and talk to my wife about this. I can't go pick up my kids. I can't call my parents. I can't do any of that because I'm in basic training and shit is real. Yeah. You know, so that first letter was pretty much an angry letter. I was just like, it literally felt like I was abandoned. So like, I remember I had a I had a breakdown moment. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not doing it. I'm just to go home. I'm not doing any of this. Yeah. One of my and you know my senior drill sergeant, he pulled me aside and said, hey, look, we don't normally do this, but come in the office. I'm gonna put you on the phone. Y'all need to talk about this and see how you feel afterwards. And you know, I think that saved things moving forward. And she explained to me that you explained to me that you didn't mean for it to come across that way. You don't remember that conversation, do you? I
do not. I think it was more of, I didn't mean for it to come across as like a...
I was like crying and shit. I think that's what it was. I was like...
I wanted you to really understand the severity of... And I think I had even wrote it on... Like, I did a printout and I like highlighted all the overdraft fees.
Yeah, I'm like, nigga, what the fuck kind of shit is that?
I highlighted all of the overdraft fees and I totaled it up.
The letter, it didn't even start with, hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It was,
no.
Nigga, what the fuck is this and this and this and this and this and this? And I was like...
I like added it up and I put like, you took... I don't even know how much it was, but it was like, you took $800 and something out of my baby's mouth or something like that. Or I can't remember exactly what it was.
I was like, the baby don't even need $800 in her mouth. But, you know, and I think and I also think because Anaya was one already.
Yeah, she was already one.
She was already one. Imani
was like 6 months.
Yeah, 6-7 months old and stuff like that. So... you know, she pretty much...
Actually, Anaya was 2.
She went back...
July. Because you went in July.
She went back, like, as far as that account was, like, damn near Oakland or whatever. And so, I think what it came down to, and also going into basic training, and, you know, drill sergeants were shitty about this. You know, if you had somebody left behind, you know, they're telling you all these, like, you know, Dear John stories, and I hope you didn't get somebody all control of your money, because, you know, it ain't nothing like making it back from basic training or getting back from a deployment and all that money you thought you had is just gone. So in my head, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going through all this hell. She ain't said nothing nice in this letter. They're telling us about all these bitter spouses that, you know, it was all guys there. I was at Fort Benning, so at the time, only males did basic training there. And so they're telling us, hey, all y'all, just look, I hope you didn't leave your little girlfriends. And I'm just like, that's exactly what I did. And I'm just like, I'm about to go through absolute hell. And I'm going to have nothing to show for it. Like, I'm going to graduate and I'm going to check my account and there's going to be 50 cents in that bitch. Like, she ain't going to answer the phone. And, you know, by then it was just a lot to deal with. And I think when he made that phone call, by the time, I mean, I'm crying all teary-eyed and shit. Oh man, you finna leave me and blah blah blah. And I think she wanted to be angry during the call, but when she heard me that way, she was like, look, I'm just saying you got to get your shit together. Like, bruh, we can't do, you know. So it was a...
Okay, I do remember that. I
don't think I've ever told anybody that. I don't think I've told anybody that.
I don't think. Yeah, probably. Okay, so. I do remember that conversation. Like, when you say it that way, yeah. In the moment, because, you know, there's a time to be upset, and then there's a time to, you know, adjust and console, and to let you know that. I had
a couple days.
But yeah, so that was.
God damn, I talked about that for a long time.
Yeah, so that was how we handled it before the Army, and I think, you know, seeing that, then we went to the everything is together. All the money gets dumped into one pot, and then from that pot, everything goes out.
I think it wasn't because of that situation. I think it eventually made it easier. Because
that was the catalyst, though. That was definitely the catalyst.
Oh, well, I didn't see it that way. As long as I wanted to hold on to Bank of America, because I don't know, because I just didn't want change, and I still like the fact that if I needed to, I could overdraft that account. But of course, starting from that point, it was just like you don't have to live that way anymore.
Yes.
And you know, here's where we are now. And I think also I had gotten when I found out I was going to Hawaii, we saw that there were like no Bank of Americas on Oahu. It was something like that. I don't know. They did something to piss me off, and I closed the account.
I mean, Bank of America's trash, so.
I mean, they were trash. I don't know anything about them right now.
Still are trash.
I mean, you can feel that way, but if you don't know for sure, then
okay, I'll just say I feel.
Yeah, you can feel however way you want to feel.
I feel like they still trash.
Yeah.
But that's how it was pre-military.
Yeah.
And then in the military, we have multiple accounts, but we have access. We both have access to all of the accounts. And let me also put this out there. We're always continuously growing with our outlook on finances, because that worked for us for a while. Us having everything in these multiple pots and us having access to all the pots. The problem that would come into hand is like during our roller coaster of our marriage, there are different things that I start to expect from you. There are things that I want from you. And, one of those things is romance. And at least this is kind of where, the growth financially started, was you can't really romance me when I see all the charges.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even though we have our separate credit cards, we're trying to reduce our credit or all of our debt. Like, I want us to not have balances on any of our credit stuff. So it's kind of hard for me to be like, I want you to romance me and surprise me and do this and do that. But you don't have the avenue.
She is the guru of financial investigations. Like even our Amazon stuff. Our Amazon stuff, we got Prime. We Prime around here. We got Amazon, and it's set up as a family account. So, I can order something thinking I'm being secretive, and then she'd be like, what you order from Amazon for $150? Great. So do I lie to my wife, or do I just be like, well, I was going to, and now it's gotten to the point where if I want to get her something, I'll show her, hey, you like this? Do you want that? And she's like, oh yeah, it would have been a nice surprise. And I just be like, oh, okay. Well, whoop, surprise. One click buy, and it has taken a lot out of it. Now, granted, and that's not exactly the topic, so I'll let her get back. I'll turn it back over to you. But that's kind of what it's turned into, and it's no excuse. So now I just have to find more creative ways to get that done.
Yeah. Or like, if you want to get me something, he'll literally have to go to an ATM, pull out cash. But even with that, he'll have to kind of let me know how much it is. And I'll be like, well, how much it's going to be? And then I'm trying in my head, of course. You can't tell me you got a surprise for me and then tell me the amount. And
if
then
I just go to an ATM and pull out like $600, she's going to be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you pulling out? Now, granted, $600 is not going to... We're not going poor or nothing like that. We're not balling, but, I just like knowing where every dollar goes. Now, that's not saying that we are good with our money, because clearly on the last episode, we was talking about how we spent like $100 going out to eat for like a week, like some damn idiots. With that being said, I like the fact that she knows where every dollar goes, because, it's helpful. It's really easy. It's so easy to be able to just defer financial decisions to the person that does it for a living, than for both of us to be sitting here struggling like, oh man, what is we gonna do? I could just be like, I look at the account, I was like, okay, there's definitely enough money to get this thing. It's easy for me to be like, hey, what do you think about this? And I just wait for or let's wait. Let's build a plan for it. It's easy to do that. So I love the fact that you're tracking every dollar, because that means I don't have to. It doesn't sound like the right answer.
It is not.
I understand it, but look, if I was a chef, I wouldn't expect you to be in the kitchen.
That doesn't mean that I wouldn't be in the kitchen, though.
Probably.
Or make the effort to be in the kitchen.
I mean, you can drive, but I always drive us around. So.
Wait a minute. I offer.
Yeah, but
offer.
Ain't it easy to sit over there to just sit back and
but I make the
kick
effort.
Off your feet and let your little toes blow in the wind
but
out the window?
I make the effort to offer to help. Just saying.
Yeah, but I like driving you around though.
Okay, but I like having a partner, and you can help me financially.
I helped you that deposit.
You can't even say that shit with a straight face.
That direct deposit hit on the 1st and 15th. There's your help. Make it happen.
That is not.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Is not.
I'm joking.
That is not.
But go ahead.
But yeah, I've definitely come to, this is another level in our growth where I know I can be very type A, and we've said this before on podcasts before. But the whole us both having access to every single account that we have is we've outgrown that phase of our financial, we've outgrown that phase, and so now we've been kind of tailoring it and changing it a little bit, and also because I've been paying more attention to different financial gurus that are out there. I know he calls me a financial guru, but I don't see myself as one
compared to my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
You're financially omniscient. No, but I mean, and it has changed because, and she can tell you, there have been times where I'll be like, hey, I'm going through, I'm balancing the books right now, and I'll go line by line. What is this?
He will.
What is that?
He will.
What is that?
I will give him that.
When before it was just like, well, if I didn't buy this, then she bought it. If she bought it, then she's already done all the numbers to understand that we can afford it, and can do. Yes. But if she's buying it, then she's already going through the steps, and I had to realize that, you know what, we all have our weaknesses.
Yes.
She has things that she will, go through a little bit of a struggle for a few days just to have this on today. And I had to learn that, like she said, and this is a conversation, we joked about it just a couple minutes ago, but she had to have that real conversation like, yo, I need a partner in this, because me putting it all on her didn't leave any room for her to have any error. Mm-hmm. And I'm still learning. I'm not perfect, but I still log into the account a couple times a week, and I'm just like, hey, look, you said you weren't making any more fabric purchases, and here's a purchase from Joann's, and I know this is fabric. Like, what's the or wherever.
I was about to say, wouldn't be Joann's. I don't shop there anymore. But yes,
I mean,
but look, I know you were using it
that
just for
part.
an example.
I don't know. It's just an example. Or, like, I don't know why I have this pet peeve, but it's big on me that, like, because we get these little notifications whenever a package is dropped off at the house, and I mean, it comes directly to my phone as soon as they drop it and it's delivered. Bloop, I get a notification there's a package, and I'm like, I ain't order shit. So I would just go and look real quick, and I'm like, hey, there's a package here, and I didn't order for sure Queen or Irvin, and I'm just like, and I can always tell by how the boxes and how they look, and how much they weigh. I was like, this is fabric. And so I'll call, hey ma'am, we got a package today. So, oh really? From where? Don't do that. Don't do that. Or I'll tell her where it came from. She was like, really? Wow, I just been Come on. Run me the explanation. What is going on?
Because you be trying to hold me accountable.
And she'll just be like, look, it was $1 a yard, and I had to, like, it was $1 a yard, and you had to order 100 yards of it. That's exaggeration.
I'm about to say.
I don't know how much fabric is supposed to cost, but it'll be like some crazy discount. And in some cases, look, some people look at things and, discount stands for gotta have it.
Yes.
And I think with fabric, because she can do some amazing things with the work that she does, she sees this stuff and she envisions that'll be a wonderful dress, that'll be a great shirt, that'll be a lovely, jumpsuit, that'll be a nice pair of pants, whatever it is. And she sees this stuff and she's like, boom, I can do that.
Yeah.
And even with the wall of fabric that she has now, there'll be some fabric that she'll buy and she won't touch it for months, and then she gets an order to make something and she'll just be like, light bulb, and she'll go find that fabric and be like, boom, And I was like, damn, yeah, that'll look good together. And you know that you just did it, what, yesterday?
Yesterday.
You just pulled some random, you know, and that fabric you got for free though.
Yeah, I got it from your aunt.
Yeah, and she had this custom fabric that she made, and she found another piece that my aunt gave her. Was like, boom, how does that look together? And I was like, yeah, damn, that shit's gonna look good. You know, so I try not to get in the way of that, but at the same time, you know, I understand that accountability a little bit more. And, you know, we just discuss those things better. And it leads to us not overdrafting our bank accounts. It leads to us still being able to have the things that we want. We just gotta, you know, put some time in. It's like, hey, look, you know, if you want this and it costs $1,000, you know, yes, technically you could go to the store, swipe your card and buy it today. Is that responsible? Probably not.
Right.
So, you know, come up with a plan. And let's figure it out. Not just you figure out. Let's figure out. And in a lot of cases, what I try to do to show that I'm trying is I try to come up with a plan first, and I present it to her, and she's like, "Yeah, that'll work." Or, "Hey, maybe we should try this instead." And that's how we handle our finances now.
Yeah.
So, you know, with that being said, we've gotten ourselves into a lot of trouble because I mean it takes
years.
That much time. Years. No, it takes,
it
takes that much time to get yourself in trouble.
Oh, okay. And I was saying years because I thought you were going to say it takes years to fix mistakes you made. You know, like, and it could be little mistakes. Like when we were in college, we were signing up for college. I mean, we were signing up for
them little credit cards just to get a free meal.
Yeah. Get a free meal at
Maryland's Fried Chicken. They had some of the best chicken fingers I'd ever tasted in my life.
So, we getting all these credit, hits to, getting all these hits to our credit when we were in college, So
before I joined the Army, I think my credit score was in like the 400s.
Yeah.
That shit was low.
Yeah. That, that pretty much that first year with us having Anaya, we was living off of credit for a lot of shit.
When I found how easy it was to just use the credit card to pay rent, I was like, oh yeah, bloop, bloop, bloop. And she started noticing. She was just like, man, you have a lot of extra money to spend on things lately. and that's because I started paying rent with the credit card, and my direct deposit, though, when she could at least see the account balance, like, okay, so he's managing his money right. No, I wasn't. I was just maxing out that damn credit card.
Yeah. It takes years to fix, a few months of irresponsibility, That's what I was saying. So, and we're still trying to get out of it, and I think now our goal is more of to get out of debt.
Yeah. And that's going to include everything. That means cars.
Right. Credit cards.
Yeah. Cars, credit cards, like store accounts.
But anyway, so that's pretty much how our finances have evolved. This is a good episode, babe. Yeah.
I agree.
Well, let us know what you think about today's episode, what we talked about.
Send us an email.
Yes, at marriedandshit@gmail.com. I always forget. I'm like, is it? But yeah, it's marriedandshit@gmail.com. It'll be in the show notes as well.
Mm-hmm.
What you think about the episode? Any questions you may have?
Any comments? Any concerns if you have them? Yeah. Whether they're yours or hey, look, y'all may be able to drop some knowledge on us. If there's anything that you have to say that you would like us to share with the people, we'll gladly read your emails, your letters. Of course, we'll keep you anonymous if that's what you choose. And I would love to, like I said on our last episode, I would love to dedicate a few minutes, if possible, to talk about things that you all specifically want to hear about. So if there's something that you want to hear, something you want our comments on, then, send it to us and we'll dedicate some time to address just that. But if there's nothing else, be you, stay true, and don't be afraid to start some shit. Bye.
Peace. That'll be cute. Bye.